Apex is full of mechanics to get you moving around faster. Things like wall jumping, super gliding, super jumping, and all sorts of easy and hard to learn mechanics. But did you know that there's actually a few secret mechanics that no one's talking about? Mechanics so strong that they will completely change how you play the game, but also so simple that pros don't even think twice about talking about them. Everyone wants to move faster, but what if instead of just moving around faster, we also focus on avoiding simple things that will forcefully slow you down in moments that you really cannot afford to? Today, not only will I be teaching you 3 secret, extremely simple mechanics, but I'll also be giving you countless secret tips that you need to know if you want to stop getting slowed down to the speed of a snail. Now, before we do hop into today's video, even though these mechanics are super simple, if you're playing on a default controller, you will experience some difficulty with movement in general. I do suggest to anyone who's looking to make major leaps in their progress to upgrade to a pro controller, but it's not necessary. I only suggest it purely because you'll find more consistency and you'll find learning these mechanics are going to be a lot easier. My go-to controllers are going to be AIM controllers with their lifetime warranty, and in my opinion, the best thumbsticks and paddles on the market today. And if you want to check them out, I'll leave a link in the description down below. Now let's hop into today's video. Now, to kick things off, we're going to be starting off with an instant slide. The instant slide is exactly what it sounds like. It's going to be a way for you to instantly slide around and get yourself from A to B a lot quicker and a lot more effectively. Now, before we hop into a slide though, we need to learn how to properly run around. Now, everyone knows that if your gun is in your hand, you run a little bit slower compared to if your gun is holstered. As soon as you holster your weapon, you get a little bit of a move speed boost. What a lot of people don't know though is that if your gun is in your hand and you enter a slide jump, that slide jump is still going to be slower compared to if you were to slide jump with your gun away. What a lot of people also don't know, if your gun is holstered, you want to actually hit a slide or a slide jump. You need to make sure that you take a minimum of 1, 2, 3 steps. If you do anything shorter than that 3-step count, 1, 2, you're going to get a dead slide, just like that right there. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. You have to make sure that you take that minimum 1, 2, 3 step so that you can actually hit a slide jump. Now, this is obviously going to be extremely problematic. Imagine you're in a gunfight with someone, you get them hurt, and now you want to walk up and actually finish off that fight. If you do this while having your gun in your hand, not only are you going to move slower while you're making that push, but you also have to take that minimum 3-step count, which doesn't just mean that you can't slide when you want to, but it means that you're going to be exposing your body well before you want to. Picture this. Imagine you step off cover, 1, 2, 3. That 3 steps that you took to get right here, those 3 steps, your body's completely exposed. 1, 2, 3, right here, right? Your body's been completely exposed this entire time, not able to shoot your gun, and you're moving extremely slow. If I try to sprint while shooting my gun, it's going to force you into a walk, and that's not what you want. If you're going into a walk, you can't slide because you got to be sprinting. And as well, whenever you get shot and you're running around and you're sprinting, it cancels your sprint and it forces you to go into a walk again until you stop getting shot, and then you'll automatically go back into a sprint, which basically means if you come off cover, you take 2 steps, you get shot, now you have to take those 3 steps all over again. So now I'm exposed and I have to still go 1, 2, 3. So running with your gun in your hand in general is just going to cause so many issues that we do not want to deal with. A way that we're going to completely get around all of these issues is by using instant sliding. Instant sliding is when we literally just holster our gun. As soon as our gun is holstered, we no longer have to take those 3 steps that are causing us so many different issues. Now that my gun's holstered, all I have to do is go 1 step, 1 step, 1 step. And as you can see, I'm instantly going into that slide as long as you take that full 1 step. Now, if I don't take that full step and I instantly go into a crouch like this, well, now I'm getting a dead slide, right? You need to make sure that you take that full 1 step. Now, this is when things start to get a little bit tricky. We're going to continue to kick this up a notch, and we're going to add even more benefits to this mechanic. If I hit a slide jump and then take out my gun, I'll still get all the benefits of being able to slide out that corner really, really fast. But as you'll notice, my gun is coming out really, really late. Right? If I'm in cover right here, let's just say I'm going to push this guy. I'm going to slide out. Look at how long my body's exposed without being able to shoot. As you can see right there, right? When I make that slide jump, My body's exposed for a while. I'm probably exposed for 1 to 2 seconds, and I'm not able to fight back, which, you know, is also very problematic. Imagine you're taking that gunfight. That whole time you're moving out, you're getting shot. You might be a little bit harder to hit, but he's probably still going to put a beam on you. Now, the way that we're going to get around this issue of not being able to shoot our gun right away is by changing when we actually take out our weapon. So we're not actually going to slide jump and then take out the gun. Instead, we're going to take out the gun and slide jump. And as you can see right there, there's a massive difference. I'm still moving at that maximum speed, but my weapon is out mid-slide jump, and I'm actually able to shoot anywhere from 1/4 to half of my magazine, depending on your gun and the mag that you're using at that time, before I actually even hit the ground. So now I can be behind cover, I can be fighting with someone, engaging with them, I can holster my weapon for all of this extra movement speed, and now I can go unholster, forward, slide, jump. I can slide right on out of this, maximum speed, weapon in hand, ready to fight this person. So again, the way that we're doing this is we're going to go unholster, forward, slide, jump. Unholster, forward, slide, jump. And your goal is to get this down as fast as possible. Take your time at first and make sure that you're practicing this muscle memory. Unholster, forward, slide, jump. And as you get more consistent, start picking up the pace. Unholster, forward, slide, jump. And this is going to be the mechanic that we're going to want to be using absolutely every single time we move our body. What this basically is going to start looking like is we're going to be playing cover, doing damage, we're sliding out, right? Holstering, holster, slide, holster, unholster, slide, right? And we're going to be using this to continuously be running around the map, helping us get from point A to point B faster and faster and faster. Now, as you might have kind of seen right there, I kept getting tons of dead slides. This is caused by 2 issues. One, we already covered, right? We're sliding before we take that full step. I did that a couple times right there. The other thing is we're sliding too often. If I do that and then I go in for another slide, my body has what's known as like jump fatigue or slide fatigue. If you do hit a slide jump, you need to make sure that you now take a minimum of, 3 to 5 seconds. So if I go slide, 1, 2, 3, I can slide again. 1, 2, 3, I can slide again. 1, 2, 2 seconds, I still got a dead slide. So you want to take that 3-second count, make sure that you can get in that next slide. Now, the reason why this mechanic works, and we're going to turn on our HUD here so that you can see our crosshair. I'm going to look at this wall right now. I want you to look at my crosshair, and I want you to look at my controller display pad. I'm going to hit swap weapon. I want you to count how long it takes from the time that I hit my Y button to the time that that crosshair changes. If I hit Y, so one more time. As you can probably notice, it takes about half of a second for that crosshair to actually change. What I like to call this is the animation delay. And this goes both ways. If I do this from my gun being holstered, or if I do this from my gun being in my hand. If I hold it or if I tap it, no matter which way it's going to take half of a second to go from your gun being in your hand to your gun being holstered, which basically means that you have half of a second to do whatever mechanic you want before the game recognizes that your legend has kind of changed which position his gun is in. If my gun is holstered and I have that white crosshair, I can hit swap weapon, and now I have half of a second to input a slide jump. So swap, input that slide jump. The game treated my legend as if my gun was still put away. But like I said, this goes both ways, so this is actually also going to really affect us if our gun is in our hand. Now that my gun's in my hand and I want to holster and instantly go into an instant slide, it's not going to work. It's going to take that half second for my gun to transition. This means that if we're fighting someone and we want to push up really hard with an instant slide, we need to wait that half second to actually push up. Now this next mechanic is going to be another addition to the instant slide. This is going to be known as an instant swap from here on out. Now, if you're playing on mouse and keyboard, this is something that you probably already do naturally because you actually have the option to choose which gun you want to use even when your gun is holstered. But for players like me who are on the controller, if my primary weapon is my car and I want to have my gun holstered, but now I want to pull out my Mastiff, there's nothing for me to do other than swapping my gun. So the way that we're going to get around this is, like I said, using an instant swap. All an instant swap is a really quick swap and holster. So for instance, what we're going to do here is instead of swapping, and holstering, what we're actually going to do is we're going to go tap and hold that swap button. So for me on controller, that's going to be my Y button. I'm going to go tap hold. And as you'll see right there, my gun doesn't even come out. But if you look at the bottom right corner of the screen, I now have the Mastiff selected. So now when I input my instant slide, I'm going to push up with that fully loaded secondary weapon. Right? Maybe I'm fighting this guy up here. I get off some good damage, tap holds. Right? Now it's my Mastiff, tap forward slide jump. Pushing up with the fully loaded Mastiff. What a lot of people are going to be doing when they're fighting someone is they're going to get off damage, they're going to come back in, and now they want to push this individual. A lot of people will make the mistake of either reloading their gun and then pushing up, or what they'll do is they'll swap from cover, holster, and then they'll push up. Both of these things aren't inherently really bad. They're just slight little things that are going to just barely slow you down, which may not be something that you want to do. As you get better and better and better, you're going to want to make sure that you're pushing up as quickly as possible, giving people as little downtime as you possibly can. Constantly keeping pressure on them is going to be one of the most important things when you're playing in a 1v1, 1v2, or a 1v3 scenario. You want to make sure that you're always the first one to push up. You're always the first one to push back, right? Our goal is to always be the first to do something. So if I can get damage on him and then he starts backing off before I start pushing, by the time that I get here, he's already going to be gone. So the way that we're going to completely correct this is by using that instant swap mechanic. So now, as we start fighting, we're going to go damage, tap hold, tap forward slide jump. Swap. Damage, tap hold, tap forward slide jump. Right, and now we're moving at the fastest possible speed, which is gun holstered plus a slide jump. We're doing it as soon as possible because we're inputting an instant slide mechanic, and we're keeping the pressure on people by instantly moving off of the damage that we're putting in with the fully loaded secondary weapon. And now the third and final mechanic that we're going to be using to ourselves moving as fast as possible, as often as possible, so we're going to integrate running on a 45-degree angle. This is probably one of the easiest and most basic things that you can do, but this is the #1 thing that I see people not doing, especially when I'm coaching them. Pretty much what you'll notice with almost every single player who isn't like Master or Predator, like I don't really even see Diamonds doing this all that much. They just constantly run in a straight line like this. They use their right stick to make turns, right? And as you can see, imagine if I'm fighting this guy right here, and I come around the corner. I'm not going to see him until I actually make that turn. But if we start running on a 45-degree angle like this, as you can see, I can still sprint to the left, to the right, and move at that faster sprinting speed while still being able to kind of move forward. Now, as I'm coming around the corner, right, I can still see him like that. Now this is going to pair extremely well with instant sliding as well, because now when I'm instant sliding, instead of having to instant slide out and then turn late, now what I can do is I can instant slide on that 45-degree angle. That we can actually also use this to zoom in on things that we want to look at. So for instance, me personally, I play on max FOV, so 110. If you're on, you know, maybe like a TV or a really small monitor, maybe you have this turned down a little bit. And an issue with this is that it makes everything really, really small in front of you. But a positive is that it keeps everything really wide on the edges of your screen. So for instance, this target way up here, right? If you're watching on like a mobile phone right now, you can probably barely even see this. On my monitor, it is literally 3 pixels tall. But if I put it on the edge of my screen like this, well, now you'll notice that it's become significantly larger. Something that I like to do when I'm running around is I like to put where I'm trying to look on the edge of my screen. So right now, I can see this guy right over here very clearly, like that. Right, so I might be running into an area. I'm going to put my edge of, oh, there he is. Right, and now I can kind of see something really, really small. I have a lot of people who will come into my live stream whenever I'm playing ranked, whenever I'm doing a coaching session. They'll be like, how did you know that there was a team all the way across the map? Well, a majority of the time, if you're not getting audio cues like gunshots or a fight maybe out in the distance, maybe some explosions, maybe you catch a little tiny pixel that is moving super, super far away. And that's usually what's happening with me, is I see these like 2 pixel tall black pixels and they're just moving around and I'm like, okay, that's got to be a person. Now, those right there are going to be your 3 main mechanics that you're going to be using to be constantly moving around at that faster possible speed. You guys want to practice using this drill. One of the best things that you can do is either coming all the way up here at this top left corner of the map. It's basically behind the air pad right here. So you come look at this target next to the zip line. Not only does it have lots of dummies that spawn in, plus you get a little box right here. There's tons of walls, there's tons of corners. So this is a great place to practice your wall jumps, great place to practice your super glides. I actually hit that first try, holy shit, oh my god, right? There's no zip lines right here, which kind of sucks, but I mean, if you pick Pathfinder, you can also just toss a zip line in, go back to whoever you're playing, and now you can also start practicing your super jumps as well. Now that's all for today. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. It lets YouTube know that you want to continue seeing videos like this and you want to continue getting better at Apex Legends. And it lets me know that you would enjoy it and to make more videos like this in the future. As well, if you want to continue to see these types of videos, make sure to check out this playlist right here popping up on your screen. And if you are ever interested in booking a coaching session, you can do that by clicking the link in the description down below. Coaching starts at $25 a session. We also have group sessions like VOD review classes where we actually go over your gameplay and walk you through what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. And we also have movement classes in group sessions where we upload a movement video once a week. And then we open up a private lobby so that you can actually go and practice all of those mechanics in an actual map like World's Edge, Storm Point, Moon, whatever it might be. You can do that with a coach inside of the lobby with you who's going to help you in case you're having any type of issue whatsoever. All the links will be in the description down below. And that's all for today, and we will see you in the next one. Later.